Am I the a-hole for leaving my husband at our lake house with his family? My husband and I own a lake house that we spend most of our free time at when it's warm. We go there over the winter to check on it and do any basic maintenance that is required. It is not set up for winter living. We often invite friends and family over. We have almost 2 acres of land, and there is lots of room to park an RV or set up a tent. The house has a septic tank for the toilet. All the other water goes to a gray water tank we use for the garden and lawn. We only use bio-safe products. We have a very well-built and ventilated outhouse for when we have people over. So last weekend was the one where we went out to get the house ready for the spring and summer. We ordered the water truck to fill our tank, the propane guys to fill up that tank. We ran water through the pipes to flush them out and get them ready to use. And his mom and dad showed up with his brother and his family, which would be fine except it was a cold and shitty weekend. So they didn't want to set up tents and stay outside. I asked him why they were here. He said that he told them we were going out and they sort of invited themselves out. They didn't bring out much besides some sandwiches and a bunch of beer. They didn't understand why we didn't have any of the water toys ready. There was still ice on the lake. I asked my husband to tell them that we were not ready for guests and that they needed to leave or help. He wouldn't do it. So I left. I said I needed to run to the store. I took my car and went to the grocery store 5 blocks from my house. It is an Asian market with great sushi. I think my husband expected me to just be going to the gas station a mile from the lake. I left him out there to prep the house and deal with his guests. He is upset now that I left without telling him that I wasn't coming back, that he had to do all the work by himself, that he had to clean the house by himself. He said his family thought I was rude not to stick around and host. I did not invite them. I told him that the house was not ready for guests. I told him that we did not have enough toilet paper for 8 people. He knew that we only had food for the 2 of us for the weekend. I think it's his fault and his problem. Should I have sucked it up and taken one for the team, or am I the a-hole?
Not the a-hole. The yokels on here saying adults communicate yada 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 are completely ignoring the fact that you and your husband had a plan for this weekend. His family showed up uninvited and empty-handed, and you asked your husband to tell them to leave. You communicated and reinforced your needs and expectations. He declined to consider you. Why should you have to push it further and give him an ultimatum that either his family leaves or you do? If he feels entitled to accommodate his family at your expense, then he's in no position to be upset that you left and that he had to do the work himself. You don't have to tell him the consequence of his choice in advance. Sucks that he had to do the work himself, but maybe next time he won't choose ingrates over his actual wife. Seriously, who shows up to an uninvited but free weekend holiday without food for everyone, including the hosts? And let me guess, they probably rarely, if ever, pitch in for utilities, cleaning supplies, or fuel for the toys. I personally think he owes you an apology in front of his family.
I was thinking everyone sucks here at first because you could have stayed and said they needed to leave, but no, that should be on your husband. You asked him to set that boundary and he declined. Instead, he expected you to stay and clean the house, cook for everyone, go get groceries and supplies, and be a host to an unexpected group that should have been told no on the phone in the first place. Not the a-hole. Your husband needs to grow a backbone with his family, and hopefully this experience will teach him to use his words. He said that he told them we were going out and they sort of invited themselves out. This is where he should have said, "Sorry, I may not have been clear. We're just going out to get it ready. It won't be stocked and ready for guests, and we don't have the time or supplies to host you guys this weekend. Let's make plans for a better weekend for you to come out instead." You're right, this is his fault and his problem. I hope the sushi was good.
He said his family thought I was rude not to stick around and host. And his family isn't rude for just showing up uninvited? Pot meet kettle. He wants to host surprise guests, fine. He doesn't get to force you to do it. Should be an interesting vacation. Not the a-hole.
Am I the a-hole for skipping my friend's birthday without warning because his girlfriend calls me the typical girl best friend? Miles and I have known each other since we were 2 because our parents are best friends. Now I would not say Miles is my best friend. He is a good friend and we do hang out on occasion but see each other on all major holidays because of our parents. We are in our early 20s. The problem started because of a dumb childhood memory. When we were 8, we had a wedding play on school after care. I played the bride and Miles the groom. It was a play with horrible songs and uncoordinated kids. Obviously, our parents made pictures and videos of that. And we each have one picture on our family picture walls. Miles is dating Lindy. They met 3 years ago and started dating last year. Lindy does not like me. So every time we coincide at a celebration, she makes a comment about me being the typical girl best friend. She one time said that I secretly wanted to sleep with Miles. I have no clue where she got that impression from. Miles and I have different friend groups and schedules. Besides the monthly catch-up over food, we didn't really meet that much. Things got worse when Lindy saw the wedding play picture. The comments just got more. She even started DMing me on Instagram saying she knew what game I was playing. I talked to Miles once about this, and he told me to give her time. So his birthday was on Saturday and I was invited. Lindy wrote me saying something along the lines that she was going to supervise me. This was their first birthday as a couple, and I was not allowed to take up his time. I was honestly just fed up. I tried talking to Miles once more, but he said the same thing. So I just skipped out. When the party started, I wrote a quick sorry, I can't come, and told him my mother was going to bring his present. Now he is upset with me for missing his birthday. Lindy is mad that I made it all about myself, and my parents are upset I missed a family function. Am I the a-hole? Edit. I didn't show anyone the messages because I didn't want to make more out of this than it is. I didn't want to poison anyone against Lindy, especially not if she is a new fixture in Miles' life. That would make both our lives more difficult. I hoped that just talking about it might be the more adult thing. My parents are not mad at me or blowing up my phone. A la Reddit fashion. They and Miles' parents were just bummed out that this was the first birthday that I ever missed. As to why she is jealous, I have no idea. Neither of our parents ever wanted us to get together. There were no jokes or anything about it. I think they also never would want that. The wedding play picture is in the living rooms because they loved the picture and it was our first play.
Not the a-hole. Miles' girlfriend is insanely insecure and jealous of you. You've tried talking to Miles about it and he won't do anything about it. You're basically getting threatening messages from her at this point. Of course, you don't want to be around her. Your parents should understand that their relationship with Miles' parents is just that, their relationship. It's not a family function, whatever they wish it to be. The onus shouldn't fall on you to maintain a friendship with Miles if it isn't working for you under the current circumstances. I do hope you two can work things out since you've been friends for so long, but you don't have to if it doesn't work for you. And you don't need to feel guilty about it.
OP should also show the messages to her parents and Miles and let those messages do the talking instead of trying to explain it herself. Why is it okay to take crap just because you know them? I can never understand that mentality. Good on OP for not going to the party and giving the girlfriend a chance to insult OP more.
You've known Miles for 20+ years, and his family is close with your family. Your not being at his party was noticed, and you're taking all the blame for Lindy's actions and insecurities. Screenshot her messages to you and send them to your parents and put it on record your not attending was at Lindy's jealous behest. Not the a-hole. But seriously, if the parents expect your involvement, they need to know the truth of why you weren't there.
Not the a-hole. He can't have his cake and eat it, as in, he can't refuse to do something about the problem then get mad at you for doing something about the problem. I understand why you didn't want to go, and I'd probably do the same. His girlfriend doesn't seem worth the mental energy, and she's clearly got insecurities that you shouldn't have to deal with.
Just show him the texts. See, this is why I didn't come. Believe me, people like that never change. He might be able to get her to shut up for the most part, but she'll never not be that jealous, petty person, and you'll have to deal with snarky remarks until the end of time or they break up. I have a best friend just like her. Wouldn't date her in a million years though.
Am I the a-hole for not giving my plus-size friend the queen-size bed in our B&B? I, 30s female, am going on vacation with 4 of my friends, 30s and 40s females. We go every year, and always use a randomized selection tool to help us choose who gets which bedroom. The tool assigns the order in which we can choose. I got 3rd choice, and my plus-size friend, Marie, got 5th choice. The first 3 of us all chose the queen-size beds. The other 2 got twin beds and had to share a room. Yeah, it sucks, but that's why we leave it up to chance so nobody can complain. Marie asked me privately if we could switch places so she can have the queen-size bed. She is plus size, but in my opinion not so big she can't fit in a twin bed. I personally have lost over 100 pounds and at my largest was bigger than Marie is now. I never once asked to switch beds when I was bigger. I therefore said no. She started crying and told me I was being unreasonable, and that I of all people should understand. I do understand, but it's my vacation too and I've worked hard to be in a body I'm comfortable in. I don't feel like I should give up my spot to accommodate her, when she can still fit in the twin bed. Am I the a-hole? Edit, she doesn't have any mobility issues or other disabilities that I'm aware of.
So you all paid the same amount and then left it to a randomizer to choose bedrooms? Forget about the wait. If I paid the same money to sleep in a double in a shared room, while my friends paid the same for a room to themselves, I'd be pissed. Regardless, not the a-hole.
No, the two who got the twin bedroom pay $75 less than the rest of us.
Not the a-hole. This is the agreed upon method of determining beds. If she doesn't like the results, then she shouldn't have agreed to the setup. Also, there's absolutely no cause for her to demand larger than a twin.
Isn't a twin bed like 39-inch wide? That's 3.3 feet. That's not exactly slumming it in a kiddie bed or something. I know this cost. My kid has a twin XL, and I had to learn the sheet sizes in inches as some packages lie. She's also paying less. It's a shitty situation, but it is what it is. I only say not the a-hole as you guys used the randomized thing to pick the rooms. It's not like y'all outright set out to upset her. She was fine with the prospect of getting the smaller bed, until she did.
Not the a-hole. I am plus size and can absolutely sleep in a twin bed. Sure, a person who is much smaller would have an easier time in a twin, but I can totally sleep comfortably. And she knew about the room situation in advance, so if she was truly concerned about needing an accommodation for bed size, she should have told the group in advance. It can be embarrassing, but she could have told people in advance. Since you are all friends, listen, I can't sleep in a twin bed, so I'm happy to pay more to secure a queen or look for a different house.
Not the a-hole. You all have an established arrangement for picking rooms. If she had an issue with that, she should have said something beforehand. Expecting you to give up your room is unreasonable.
What do you think of these stories? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories.